It's a grim number, and one that Victorian Premier Dan Andrews wishes he wasn't saying. A record 484 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported in the last 24 hours. We understand that this is a record with the second highest numbers in a day across the country of 460 being reported on March 28th. Premier Dan Andrews is currently still hosting a press conference. This is what he said a short time ago.
So first things first, there are 6,739 cases of coronavirus in Victoria. That's 484 new cases. That number may change tomorrow. Obviously, I think there's about 30 that have come off from yesterday's total in that process that we go through each night. 97 of those 484 are connected to known and contained outbreaks. 387 of those are under investigation. There are now 44 Victorians who have passed away as a result of this virus. That is 2 further deaths overnight. 2 males in their 90s connected with aged care settings. I will again take this opportunity to send our best wishes to their loved ones, their friends and family. This will be a very challenging, very sad time for them, and we send our love and best wishes to them. There are 205 Victorians in hospital, 40 of whom are receiving intensive care. The total number of active cases is some 3,408.
Geez, the news isn't good. He went on to urge people to be tested early as soon as symptoms arise. He also said that 53% of people are not isolating while awaiting test results, which is a very good point. But to make sure that people do the right thing, he's now offering a cash incentive.
If you are working and for purposes of illness, waiting for a test result or a positive result and therefore having to quarantine at home for 14 days, you are eligible for a $1,500 payment where you can't fall back on sick leave. Ultimately, we want a situation where you're no worse off, but every Victorian is much better off because you're not at work, you're not making that very difficult choice between the health and welfare of your family and the health and welfare of every Victorian family.
I have to say, I think we're at a good point here, Robbo, where people are going to be paid. It is a thing, though. People who are feeling sick, everyone assumes I don't really have it, and I actually have some sympathy here for people because I think it's an easy thing to say, well, if you're not feeling sick, if you're feeling sick, isolate. Life is messier than that, isn't it?
Yes, but you would say that 53% of those people were absolutely selfish. There is a lot of flack being given to the Premier. Yes, the hotel quarantine was a debacle. There is an inquiry. Some people are arguing that the inquiry is just a way of not having to answer questions now. They will have to answer questions at some point. 53% of people went out and about when they potentially had COVID, and they did. This is outrageous. Yes, governments have a responsibility. Of course they do. But you know what? Newsflash, everyone. You also have a responsibility. So twice now, my sister works in a pharmacy. She has come down with flu-like symptoms. She's been tested, and she isolates until that's done. She doesn't leave the house. It's bloody simple. When will people get it through their head?
Financially, she's in a place to be able to do that.
Yeah, but but you have said before that
I have. And I have gone off at people who haven't followed the rules. But what we're talking about is people that haven't actually tested positive to coronavirus. They may have taken a test or they're feeling ill and they're going about their daily lives because they're thinking, I can't afford not to work and I probably don't even have it. I have been steadfast. Don't break the rules. We're all in this together. You are 100% right. So it might sound hypocritical, but I actually have some sympathy for people. We all think we don't have something. We live in this world where we go, oh, I know I've got some symptoms, but I'm sure I don't have it, To me, the Andrews government is being smart by saying we understand the predicament people are in. We're going to take away that option. So now this is actually going to get people thinking about that state of things because it hasn't been a big issue.
But Rob, we've had that $1,500 thing has been in place for over a month. That was announced a month ago. So they've had that opportunity to get that $1,500 fee. One-off payment, so people are still flouting the rules. That's why I've changed
specifically saying now that even if you feel sick and you can't get sick leave, you can get the $1,500 payment. This is a change, isn't it?
No, sorry, I don't mean to do that. Since
No, it's
June
all right.
19,
If I'm ill-informed, that's fine.
I don't mean to do that to you, Robin. I mean this with respect, but there is obviously so much news going on that it's hard to keep. And, I understand, so I mean no disrespect, but
No,
my
it's all
understanding
good.
is it's been around since June 19. It has been a reason to do the sick leave, but we're still seeing like 53% of these people who tested positive. Yes, I agree you, and this is why I've changed my tack from before, because I was on the side that you're on now, saying, well, we don't know the answers, but now that $1,500 payment has been around for a long time, and 53% of people who tested positive are still going outside and breaking the rules. I understand that they weren't doing that when they didn't know about their actual diagnosis, but it's tough calling for 53% of these people to just go, oh, I don't have it. And I take your point entirely. We all think it's only a sniffle. We all think it's just a cough. But now's the time to be more worried as opposed to less worried.
Sure. And look, I want to go to Ben, but I will say that I obviously misunderstood what he was saying in that press conference because I knew of the $1,500. I just thought they were easing the restrictions on who could get that $1,500 today. So that was my takeout, the way he was talking about it. So maybe I've misunderstood and maybe it's always been that. Ben, how scary is it being in the epicenter? You are right in the heart of Melbourne where all this is happening. Tell me what's going on. And when you hear these new figures of 484 new cases, is that scary?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely terrifying. But I think the nature of people these days is absolutely, it's not going to happen to me. You know, I think everyone thinks that they've got the superhero or they're going to be exempt. And I think what we're finding here in Victoria, while everyone is still very complacent about a lot of this, that the numbers are just going to drop and everything's going to be okay, but these numbers are now increasing. I think there'll be a significant change after this evening, considering that after 12 o'clock tonight, all of Victoria will have mandatory masks. I will say I did have to pick up something at the supermarket. I wore a mask. I followed protocol. Like, I'm already getting into the groove of wearing the mask at all times when I'm outside of the house. And I will say the supermarket was empty. Like, it was actually empty. So I think I was the only person that I saw in the supermarket who wasn't working there. So look, I think people are slowly getting the message, but just not soon enough.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo